Emergency responders of Reddit. What are some dumb things that have led to an emergency situation? Well, I was taking a lady home from dialysis and she decided to eat a Snickers in the back of the ambulance, and she started choking. Had to do the Heimlich and tell her to finish her food at home. Got called to a priority job. The caller was kayaking in a lake and said that there was an unresponsive male in the water. So off we went. Lights and sirens. We requested paramedics and fire to attend as well for the rescue operation. There were about 6 emergency vehicles attending, including a rescue boat. We got there within minutes and met the caller, who showed us where the guy was. He was just swimming, minding his own business. The caller said he was unresponsive, but really he was just ignoring her. Had a chat with the guy. He seemed alright. Said he swims here every day and likes the quiet. No issues. Would have been nice if the caller told the operator that he was still conscious and swimming rather than unresponsive. Not quite an emergency, but you'd be surprised at the number of people who leave their cars running with the keys inside and are shocked when someone jumps in their car and drives off. Undefined. An interesting bloke lit a fire in a 40-gallon steel drum so his goats could keep warm in winter. The drum was inside of a barn full of hay. No flue. One of the goats knocked it down presumably and set the whole place alight. -12 appliances were required to bring it under control. Nobody gets in a thing accidentally stuck in their butthole. Back when I was lifeguarding, I had a family bring a big circular pool raft to the beach. As soon as I saw it, I ran over and told them in no uncertain terms that it wasn't fit for the ocean, and especially the conditions we had that day. 3-4 foot waves with stiff offshore winds. The mom barely even acknowledged me, just said they know what they're doing and will take it outside my zone, so I'm not allowed to whistle at them. Which is not how that works, but I figured it was easier to watch them closely than deal with calling the cops. I regretted that decision once I had to paddle a few hundred feet out to manually tow a couple of screaming teenagers in to shore on the raft. Arguably something I could have called the Coast Guard in for. But the speed-beating grin I got to have while filling out the incident report with the mother made it well worth it. Long story short, don't take inflatables in the ocean, especially when the wind is offshore. You're sitting on a sail. Paramedic here. We responded to this 54-year-old having chest pain. Man was having a heart attack. Dude didn't want to go to the hospital because it's too early in the day. That's it. We tried to convince him to go. Got the ear doc to talk to him and he wouldn't budge. He signed a refusal. Later that same night, his family found him dead in the living room. We got to him and started CPR, meds, everything. Dude didn't make it. When we advise you to go to the hospital, go. I was riding third seat as a trainee when we get a call for a guy having a seizure. When the address comes in, the 2 medics I'm shadowing look at each other and roll their eyes. We drive off at a leisurely pace and they explain this guy is a frequent call in faking seizures and whatnot for drugs. We get there and sure enough this guy is flopping around giving a truly Oscar-worthy performance. And the lead medic is talking to their partner, but like so the patient could hear how it's not a real seizure cause he didn't speep his pants and he can administer the drug just as soon as he speeps his pants and they know it's an actual seizure. Sure enough, a moment later dude loudly speeps himself. And the medics are cracking up saying, dude, we made you speep your pants for nothing, you faker. I thought it was hilarious until they said I could do the assessment during transport on his speepty ass solo cause it's good experience. Woman ran out of gas. Filled up a 2-liter Fanta bottle at the gas station and walked back to her car. Tried to dump it in the tank but kept spilling. Decided to illuminate the situation with her cigarette lighter. Luckily she was not seriously injured. Guy got into an argument with his child's mother. He tried to hold onto the car when she drove away and was drug about 2 blocks. His feet were all messed up, so he decided to clean them off with a jug of Arbor Mist. These 2 incidents happened within 3 blocks of each other. leaving a door unlocked that opens onto an unfinished deck with a 10-foot drop to a concrete slab while having a party. A guest decides to take a piss off the deck and winds up with a broken back. We recently had a homeless man set a large trash fire in a field so someone would see it, and we would respond and put it out, and he could talk to us. His whole reason for wanting to talk to us was because he smelled something dead. He lived in a giant scrapyard full of concrete and rubble where any animal could have crawled in and died. Page to a fire at a campground in the early morning. Fire department is hosing down a big Class A motorhome. The occupants are my patients. Story goes as follows. They were of retirement age and had just bought the motorhome a week prior. They were on their first trip. They had awoken to the gas alarm going off and smelled gas. The husband proceeded to search for the source of the leak. Naturally, he's looking through cabinets and opening compartments. Unbelievably, he decided to use his cigarette lighter to help him see. Yup, smelled gas and lit his lighter. Obviously the whole thing goes boom right in his face. They managed to escape the camper, which burned to a total loss. I gave them an assessment and they actually had only minor injuries. Mostly to pride, I think. But I still remember his beard. It was so brittle after having been cooked a bit. It was breaking off in little bits that I had to sweep out of the ambulance later. Good times. Don't use your lighter to find a gas leak, kids.